FM.
Okay, here we go.
Kahului, Maui.
Quiet, please.
The voice of Maui.
Welcome to the Neutral Zone. This is your host, Jason Schwartz, KAKU, 88.5 FM. Also, you can find us at Facebook Live. And after tonight, Maui Neutral Zone will have this show. Welcome to our show.
The time has come.
Here's our theme song. Written so long ago, it was written by a guy named Lono, who's now on Molokai. Lono of Molokai. But he wrote this song when Jack Lewin was running for governor. We were talking about health. But I thought it was a good time to be able to bring this all up again. Because people have hope for good things, and I have wonderful guests with me today. Some of you who are watching Facebook Live can see them. Two gentlemen. I have Stewart Stant and Mike Miyamoto, excuse me. Wait for a song. Poor Lono getting singing over. Oh, this is me singing. They want me high energy to start, so I look like I'm juiced up. I am juiced up for you. Because we're the Neutral Zone. We're anything but neutral. But we can talk about everything from here. That's what we do. Welcome to our show. I have two guests. They're going to say hello to you, Mike and Stewart. Stewart, why don't you start?
Aloha. My name is Stewart. I'm the director of the environmental management.
Director of Environmental Management for the County of Maui, here on Maui. And this is Mike. Mike, what do you do?
I'm Mike Miyamoto. I'm Stewart's deputy for the department.
Okay. Gentlemen, about a hand in front of like that kind of distance, just to get a little closer, Mike. Get closer. You guys can get closer. There you go. Speak to us.
Is that better?
Yeah. Well, you have to speak.
Okay.
Don't know. Okay. Well, I've already let them know that I don't see as well as I should, so you're going to see me with my glasses on and off and run around. We have a great show today, and the main reason is you're a sitting director of a county agency of environmental management. What area do you cover? You gave it a fun word outside. What do you guys call it?
Our department basically takes care of crap and trash.
Crap and trash. And what kind of way is that?
Wastewater. One of our divisions in our department is the wastewater reclamation division, also the solid waste division, which is the landfills, trash pickup, and we also have a third division, which is our EPNS, or Environmental and Protections and Sustainability Division, which takes care of recycling, abandoned vehicles, those kind of programs.
Okay, words recycling and abandoned vehicles, those could be shows by themselves.
Correct.
In fact, recycling, as I see it, I have things that we can talk about on future episodes of this, okay, that involve in more detail recycling and the abandoned cars program. But I'm putting those aside because I think that, so you deal with crop, that kind of crap. Okay, and trash. Trash means things that you pick up, but it also means all the runoff, all the water systems are you or no?
No.
So water quality, that's not you?
Only when we're only in our reuse program, where we take the wastewater and we clean it to R1 quality to reuse for irrigation and purposes.
So by example, we call it gray water. We used to call it gray water. Is that what that means? That means the water that's after being processed, that's used? Or
No, we call it, it's after the water, the sewage water is processed through the treatment at the facilities, and then it's disinfected and taken to a level the DOH says is a level so we can use it for reuse. For, like the golf courses in Kihei use it, the Kalama Parks, there's a lot of parks.
So that's gray water?
That is what we call reuse water.
Oh,
reuse, yeah. Gray water is, what they use, comes out of your washer, and they go in the yards and stuff like that. Different level, totally different.
So on the golf courses, that's another whole big show.
Yes.
Central Maui and the landfill and the park, that's another story. But all kinds of things have happened over the years. What I'm here really talking about is I met Stewart in a very fun way. To be fun. I would do these interviews and I'm out there seeing everybody. And one of the candidates was a guy named Metcalf, Jerry Metcalf.
Jerry.
He took over his father's business after his father's passing, went through a whole thing. Really smart guy, capable guy. And he said, you have to meet Stewart Stant. Stewart Stant was in private thing. In fact, he had a very successful, I don't want to call it multi-level, but he had a tiered management system that allowed people to participate more in the proceeds that were made by a company's growth and the work of someone. How's that? Pretty good?
I think you hit it right on the dot.
Gently. So he was very successful, and when I met him, and through Metcalf, just happened to be a night that Stewart was called by our present mayor, and Stewart was really reluctant to think yes, but somehow over the time that we hadn't spoken, and when I saw that he was in the middle of everything, I thought, I like this guy. What's that all about? There's all this stuff going on. So I wanted to come and bring you on a show where you and I'd have an opportunity to talk. When we met in your office, I met you and Mike Miyamoto. Now, you're the second in charge, but you're also the, I want to say, the tech brains, aren't you?
I would defer to our divisions. Our divisions are the ones that really know the great details. But
well, I'm already looking. You've been somehow noted by some as the management person who's getting the lowest level of people not showing up for work and all kinds of things that are in more detail show that you've been really doing good management. You were a private person brought in, so when they talk about professional directors, that's a whole other subject also, because you've been really excelling at the management. But what I understand from you is you've been working in the industry, but the flow of all the technical information, you're the big process person to understand. Is that right, or is it both of you over time?
And I guess the best way to put it is there's no good manager. If you take a look at, well, I'll take that back. There's a lot of good managers, but if you look at any great section, any great team, any great whatever it may be, there's always someone, a great manager. I've never seen a section or a team that was a great team unless they had a great manager. You were there, Jason, at that time when the mayor called me, and you realized I did not jump up on the spot and take the job.
No, you came, and when you inherited this job,
I started laughing when I first got offered.
Some work. I mean, well, you didn't come in with an empty palette. You came out with things that some of them are controversial. Probably you want to talk to them. I don't want to push this conversation, but I know it pushes itself, sort of. But you have you inherited an Energia, which is, you explained, is really, whoever would explain, you explained it in your office pretty good to me. I understood it. So what is that Energia project?
So when I came on board, my experiences in wastewater is 25 years. So I had a lot of experience with dealing with wastewater. I had a lot of experience with dealing with the sludge component of the wastewater. So when I started as a director, one of the projects that was handed to me was a MRF project, which was a facility that was cited to be built on the Central Maui landfill, to use the gas that's already being burned off, because we flare about 2.2 megs of power every day.
Flare means just
burn it, just like the other islands. So I was given that project, so I had to meet Energia. I had to see what they were all about, and find out on this project that had started. And I too had the question of why it was so delayed on getting this project done. And then when I found out there was, they were trying to go against MECO and question why MECO wouldn't buy the power and stuff. So when I got them on a direction telling, hey, listen, forget about going with the MECO way or HECO, just go and come up with off-takers, because any project that you come up with, it's not going to have any effect unless you can get off-takers. So if you can't get people to take the gas or take the power, there's no project. So while we were working on that MRF and going through that,
what does MRF mean?
Maui
Resource Recovery Facility.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
didn't name it. That name was already there when I started.
I'm just asking for our audience.
Yeah.
With MRF.
Yeah. So that's
some guy down at the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a waste conversion project. Basically, whatever comes to the landfill, we'll utilize.
So you were here through this period, but you came back after numbers of years. But you had experience with waste and wastewater, and you came upon this Energia project that was already ongoing when you stepped up?
Ongoing. So I just wanted to see how we could, move this project forward.
Am I too close?
You need to be closer.
I need to be closer. Hang on, I'm going to get me up. How's that? Better, I bet. Okay.
I can hear you fine, Jason. Yeah. So it was, but coming up, I think what it was when we came off of this project, there was another project when I finally got to meet and see the technology out there. My thing, I was all into getting trash to energy, but what I wanted was for years was why we were using, we were actually processing our sludge at all the facilities. We do 24,000 tons of what they call biosolids. So what comes out of the treatment plants is called biosolids. It's called sludge. So we were on Maui. We have 24,000 tons a year of this sludge, and what we process the sludge.
Where does that normally go?
It goes to the landfill. It's actually a contractor that takes it. And
Is there any kind of sleeve around it to protect it because it's toxic? Is it toxic?
The sludge is utilized for to mix with the green waste and to make the composting. So
Is it toxic? No.
No, we have to test it. Fortunately we don't have heavy industry that disposes into our sewer system.
And so that kind of stuff isn't in the mix. This is non-toxic. Okay.
Yeah. So processing this sludge, we had a project that came up was to actually we wanted to take the Kahalui facility. There was the only facility that we did not have a solar system on it. For years we did a solar project at the Kihei wastewater reclamation facility. We actually have I believe it's like a 900 kW system that actually takes the Kihei plant completely off the grid. But there was a lot of room, so we could put a lot of panels. But it's not firm power. So at night is when the Kihei plant actually goes back on the grid. The Lahaina treatment plant, we have a 500 something kW system there. In Kahalui, one, we didn't have the room. Two, with the salt air and the panels and the equipment, it would be the cost would just not make sense for us to do it. So we did look into doing that. On top of it, it wasn't firm. As you know, when the state law came out about being 100% renewable by 2045, I believe it was Act 530. When that came out, our direction was to get the facilities off of the grid. Kahalui facility was the only one I had no energy project. So what we did, we put together a project to go out there and look for some kind of technology that we could actually run the treatment plant and dry the sludge. So we wanted an energy project. It actually came out that I believe the RFP went out in 2016, March, asking for turbine type generation unit, and that could also have a sludge drying. So if you look at the turbines, they can take any kind of gas, and the heat from the turbine is enough to dry the sludge. So the ultimate for this, if it's easier to understand, is the facility is having a turbine ran by gas, natural gas, whatever the gas is.
Turbine run by gas.
So that turbine provides electricity. What it would do for us with this RFP we put out, we wanted to have, I believe it was
a request for proposal.
Yeah.
So you put it out, and you wanted to have something that was off the grid.
Off the grid, and could dry the sludge. So the heat from the turbine would dry the sludge.
Pretty simple technology.
And the sludge
to
would
my brain.
Yes, and the sludge would then be dried to what EPA says is their Class A.
And that dried sludge would be taken to your landfill.
No, that dry sludge would be ours now.
Now
and
you
it would,
have it.
It would be fertilizer that we can use throughout our departments, like parks and different areas.
Okay, and
or
so-
we can even put it out, whatever we chose
And you
to
had
do.
24,000 tons of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Sludge.
Well, it starts with
it's the-
24,000, but
yeah.
after you go through the drying process, though, you take out a lot of the water.
But
So it's about
we'll
1/10.
figure-
But
okay,
1/10, yeah.
1/10.
So if you
But
did
we
a
also
5-pound
have a
bag.
growing island, and sadly, we have more people every second. And we have a growing problem. So future solutions are open, right?
Right.
This project, have you been able to sell your waste in some way and create another profit stream, or you give it away, or how do you do with this fertilizer? Do you use it all?
The project is on a stall right now.
What does
I
that
guess that's the
mean?
best way to put it.
We're going through the environmental impact statement process, and there's a challenge to that process at this time.
Okay, so none of this is all proposed. Is that what this is? Is this now? When you came aboard, you inherited this project.
Well, I
went out-
inherited
you
the
inherited
Central Maui landfill project. We,
the Central Maui
yeah.
landfill, and independent of that, you came upon something that was interesting when it came to the wastewater thing. So this Energia thing. So Energia suddenly would have a use. You explained it in few words what it meant. It meant taking some kind of bioproduct and creating energy that you could use at your plant and thereby lower your costs dramatically. And then a good portion of money that was going to a company that was at the central landfill, EKO, or something like that, would suddenly have a lowered revenue stream, but it would save the county a great deal of money, a lot of money, right? We're talking?
What I can also, maybe some of the confusion I think a lot of Maui people had was that because Energia had already was involved in the Central Maui landfill project, I think the rumor had it that we did a project at Kahalui just for Energia, but we actually put an RFP. We actually had people who came in and looked at the project to bid, but I believe Energia was the only ones that bid with that project. Correct, Mike?
Yes, they're the only one that submitted a qualified bid.
Okay. And, well, that's good to know. We're, by the way, at KAKU 88.5 FM. I'm here with Stewart Stant and Mike Miyamoto from the Office of
Environmental Management,
County of Maui. We're happy to have you listeners on Facebook Live and radio and YouTube, looking after the fact. I don't mean to break in, but I'm learning to announce who and what we are for our travel.
You're doing really good.
Okay. I hope I'm not too high energy for you guys. I want to break the. It's not really even tension because you know what's really true. You know, we hear people complaining about projects, and I want a public forum where that's what this show is about. Being able to talk about all sides of issues, where whatever clarity we need, people can call in 873-3435. That's right, 808. You know, I went to the eye doctor, and when I looked at the chart, I told him, I can't lie. I memorized it. The top letter is an E. So when you see me with glasses on and off, if I have to see that page or this board, it's a new or the time we're on. So expect, until I have an engineer, we have a wonderful guy here, Shaggy Jenkins, who's off screen, who's really very big support here. And hopefully he'll come in. I like to compare our show with sort of like the Flintstones. Remember the Flintstones?
Yeah.
Where they had those little animals that would come in and kind of supplement?
What did you break?
Shaggy is here. Am I doing good?
Yep, you're good to go over there, too.
We're good. Are we ready for a break?
He said your name and then he said Flintstones.
You just called me like a magic fairy, like you rubbed the lamp.
I did rub a lamp. No. Anyway, I hope all of our viewers know that these two gentlemen are here. I mean, it's unusual, I think, to have a sitting director in an election year, but you know, we are not political here. We talk about subjects that make good sense, whether we're the Kingdom of Hawaii, the State of Hawaii, a state of confusion, whoever. We serve everyone, and you guys serve. If these guys have crap and trash as their topic, they're probably the most important piece to making sure we stay healthy in this county. So that's why the Department of Health sticks their 2 cents in, and why we're talking about this subject on this show. Because when election change happens, some of these things that we're talking about, you know, new regimes can change things left and right, but projects that make sense, and that's something to really be looked at carefully. You know, there's so much that we can talk about just because we're talking about crap and trash and the injection wells and what comes out and where's that going? I'm sure we'll touch on it somehow, but I want to give you the. People are at me like, you have to ask this guy. You have to ask. We'll talk about all of that, but we also, when I hear about upcountry cesspools and the seepage and what it means to water and the state's importance of it all and all that, to me that's political in a general way. But these are the guys. These are the guys that are doing the hands-on to try to make these things happen. So I respect what you do, and I truly, I want our audience to understand. It's a pleasure to have you here with us here.
It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, Jason, for having us here.
My pleasure. You know, I mean, when this political season is over in a couple of months, what we're talking about stands the test because it's something really important.
Right.
Yes.
Right? So here's energy, and maybe I'm simplifying it, but only for the purposes of so we can focus our conversation in a meaningful way. They got a break coming for me here in a few minutes, so I'll have a couple of minutes away. But the injection wells and the cesspools, the landfill, that when off the landfill comes waste. Is it 100% used? Some say there's 20% or percentage left over. What is left over? And
Right, because when you think about, you know,
I only have a couple of minutes here, so
the process is going to be some kind of organic process, and so you figure all the inert items like rocks, cans, bottles, plastics, you know, those can't really be turned into some kind of energy. So through this process, so those will be some of the ways we'll pull as much recyclables as we can out of the system. So
when things are done, is 100% used? If someone came to you and said, "We have another project. At the end, you have no waste. Whatever is waste, we take, we use, we sell. We can split it. We'll make a deal." That kind of stuff happened to you?
well, that's one of the things that we've also talked with Energia about, is that there are some things that their process can't use, but there are certainly other technologies like plasma arc systems, and you know, that could utilize that material to turn it into some kind of a power or gas for power.
We're going to go on a break here and then come back. I hope I'm doing it the right time. If that clock doesn't lie to me, they'll tell me I'm late later. But Stewart Stant, Mike Miyamoto, thank you. Breaking us away from it. We'll be back in a minute here at KAKU 88.5 FM. Here we go.
It's important to buckle up your kids.
I know.
Sometimes car seats can be complicated.
I know.
And if your child's in the wrong seat and you get into a crash,
I know.
it could lead to a serious injury.
I know.
So you're 100% sure you have the right car seat for your child's age and size?
I don't know.
Don't think you know. Know you know. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Make sure you have the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Chuck Sauce
and Vince Fodi
of the Biscuits and Gravy Show. Join us every Wednesday at 11 as we broadcast live from KAKU 88.5, the voice of gravy. Enjoy such segments as Comedy Corner,
Conspiracy Cookbook,
Gluttony Club,
and Chuck Stuff the Knowledge Buffalo.
Yeehaw!
Cooking and comedy, watching stuff on TV, pouring conspiracies, biscuits and gravy. Alright.
Funding for KAKU 88.5 FM is provided by sponsors like Jim Falk Motors of Maui, with sales and service on new and pre-owned vehicles, open 6 days a week, located at 260 Hana Highway in Kahului. For more information, visit jimfalkgm.com or call 808-270-2600. Thanks again to Jim Falk Motors of Maui for making the Voice of Maui's broadcast possible.
Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with cancer? According to American Cancer Society, an average of 19 people a day are diagnosed with cancer in Hawaii. Pacific Cancer Foundation is a nonprofit organization that provides free support services for Maui's cancer community. Visit our website for a list of programs or to make a donation. We are all in this together. Call today, 242-7661, or visit our website, pacificcancerfoundation.org.
We are back here, KAKU Studios in downtown, if you want to call it us. I guess it is, Kahului, Maui, 88.5 FM. Jason Schwartz, your host, with Stewart Stant and Mike Miyamoto from the Office of Economic, excuse me, I would like to think, Office of Environmental Management, thank you. Economic, I thought I should be the Director of Economic Management.
You did.
I should have been the mayor.
Great.
But that's a separate story. But I would make a great economic development director in my mind. So I hope whoever is mayor, Mike or Ellie, remember that. Anyway, but I see tremendous need to be open. And you guys, the fact that you're so open about this means that this is, I want to say, a work in progress. That people that have ideas have an open place to be able to talk to through us and through you directly, to talk about things that we're talking about that are very important for the future of our island, no matter who controls it.
Correct.
You guys are pivotal. Okay, so that's why I'm so open about this. And you are. Like, you wanted to talk about the injection wells. You know, we have some kind of thing that we have to pay every day, right? How does that work? And then what is coming out of the injection wells? I know you're talking about using it for other things. Please talk.
Well, just we're right now not paying for any fines yet for injection wells, not yet. But so people in Maui know we process a lot of sewage. Could you imagine? This island has 160,000 people.
Yeah.
So we process a lot of sewage. In fact, Kihei, Lahaina, and Kahului, all three do an average of 4.5 million gallons a day of sewage. So you're talking of a lot of sewage that we gotta process and try to treat.
Yes.
So, and you know, with the wastewater division having, you know, we're talking 200 or so much miles of, you know, cesspool lines. We have over 10 plus miles of reclaim line, which is the reuse water.
I see.
So getting to not only do the reuse water, we can do the reuse water. It costs the county a lot of money to process this water to reuse, but it's, again, getting off-takers to take the water. So in 1996, I was involved with the first reuse project, which was Kihei, the Kihei Wastewater Reclamation Division. They installed the first UV system, which is an ultraviolet disinfection,
right,
giving it the final process to make it what EPA would consider R1 status. So like unlike the Kahului facility, we don't have a UV system there. So Kahalui's standards are R2. It's just the types of whatever the water quality is that EPA has the standards. So in '86, we got that system installed. And you can imagine since then, our wastewater division has spent over $94 million on cleaning better water, doing projects where we can get people to use their reuse water. So it's not that people don't want the reuse water, it's getting it to them. So at the Kihei facility, fortunately, we had the golf course right next to it. We have a million-gallon tank that we can, you know, that we have gravity fed to Kalama Park for years. We support the Central Park. So there's a lot of different users for this R1 water. So
that's what you mean by people that use it.
Yes.
So
yes.
do you have anything left when all is said and done?
Well, actually, we have a lot. Our goal is to be 100% reuse, but we can't get the water out. You know, it costs so much money. We did a project where we wanted to run a pipe all the way out to the Wailea side, or like, you know, to the subdivisions there where they could use the water. But I believe the project and just the pipes alone were and construction was like over $10 million. So it's just using the water. So right now, currently, at all of our facilities, we put about 70% into the injection wells. The other 30% reuse.
Okay. The reason, so I'm asking, I mean, someone out there is going to make some responses to stuff you say. But what I keep going toward is you want 100% use of this stuff.
Yes.
And someone to buy it in some fashion and take it off your hands. And you're not making money from all the rest of this, and you're not really looking at it as a profit center. Someone else that feels they can use it.
Yeah.
And you've explored quite a few things, I'm sure, right?
We actually have in Kihei. We are actually by next. I'm going to say next summer, so I don't get. So maybe sometime next year. The Kihei Wastewater Reclamation facility will be 100% reuse.
So those injection wells won't be sending anything out into the ocean?
No.
They'll be used as backup. For example, let's say if it rains for 40 days, nobody wants our water, so we have to dispose of it somewhere. So the injection wells will be used not as the primary disposal method, but as a backup in case it rains.
So again, I'm going back to what I said way earlier, which is this is non-toxic. So if we created some facility, could it be good for growing?
Oh, of course.
No. So wait, we're good for growing. All that central thing that we talk about called Central Maui Basin that needs water, all this water could go out there, but there's a way of getting across land. So if someone in the private sector saw value in the private sector of making money, this is where economic development. They would put up the cost of the pipe, and they would become the user. So we're just operating from let the county do it. We're all sitting here as private citizens waiting for the government to do it. When in fact, what I just proposed, a private sector solution that could help get rid of all the wastewater, stop the injection well problem. I'm just saying, right?
Yeah, and also, Jason, though, do add that we make some very clean water.
That's a good thing to point out.
Yeah, but
the standards are high, and we also know that, and I'm just bringing it up because this cesspool thing, and I mean, that's talking to me. I mean, obviously, you know about this stuff. You guys are in charge of whatever you're trying to do the best. That's why I'm asking you the way I am, because we're still in solution of trying to solve that one also. But I hope I'm not cutting to the chase here too much. What's the most important thing about all this thing that you really think the public needs to better understand? Anything?
Well, I think they're all important. I believe from the trash pickup to injection wells or using reuse water.
It isn't a matter of money. It's a matter of the best technology, because private sector can come in and make money on some of this stuff, which means all these solutions could happen if we had the private sector involved in creating the solutions, not waiting for the government to find the money to put the pipe out to do this and do that. There are other solutions that will make money in the private sector. I'm just bringing it up because we have enough water to put water in the basin, grow all the food we want, be self-sustainable, solve everyone's issues, potentially. I'm just saying. I personally, I have no opinions, as you've seen. How neutral.
We can tell.
But I hope you don't feel attacked, because, we're talking about important subjects that people have. You've been in this job now a while, and you've got a few more months, at least.
At least three more months. At least 3 more months.
And God willing, whoever is our new mayor will recognize the strength of this department in its leaders and its leadership and direction. And I think of elections as a bump in the road, because a good plan will go on. I've been working on this Maui arts and music thing and live showcase for 20 God knows years. This wasn't gray. In fact, I couldn't grow it at the time. People said I had to look older. I've gotten there.
Well, whoever is in our seats, we have already started the process of putting all the projects together and getting like the direction we had and the future directions. Not meaning that the new director will have the same direction, but at least it gives them something to look at and say, okay, I want to continue with this direction. I want to continue with these projects. So that'll be left up to them. But at least we'll have something to hand them. You're not just going to sit in a chair and, okay, good luck. No, we're already in the process of making it the transition work really well for whoever takes out.
I got that. But I'm hoping that what we're doing is creating a spirit of cooperation and understanding of job well done needs to be projects continued. We find the political stuff, the way it gets in the way is Mayor 1 has a different opinion than Mayor 2, Mayor 3, Mayor 4. And somehow when it all gets down to we the people, we still have problems and things it's like patchwork. When I hear about good management in a department and management style, and a need for understanding about directors and direction of a county that's overpopulating and giving you more crap and trash by development in different ways. I am just excited about the bridge we're doing here. It's a new bridge to many, but it's called take an idea and put it in the private sector and relieve the burden of the county. And if we can go into this, openly share, there's profit to be made, and openly share, here's where the money goes and where it's gone and where it's coming and doing, so that all that political stuff is out the window. That we're doing this, and we're doing it well, and getting people in the private sector compensated, all that stuff. And I'm bringing it up specifically in a political climate to say we're not that. I'm really looking for technology solutions from you. It sounds like your commitment, and I can talk to you because, like I said, he's the tech guy.
He's the brains.
You've looked at lots of technologies, and you're open to looking at all kinds of technologies.
Yeah, we have a prime example in the, how we had the C&D landfill, the construction and demolition waste landfill close out in Maui.
Yes.
So when they closed, all of that material started coming in to the county at our Central Maui landfill. 2 private companies are working on how to take that construction waste and recycle as much of it as they can, and then the rest of it will come to us. So that'll reduce the amount of stuff that we landfill, and it'll be profitable for the private sector to conduct their business.
Good. And this kind of stuff, is that put out in RFPs? Not really. It's just people being aware of this. So maybe that's what we're doing. We're opening up communication in a new way with people to share about what is going on, to get creative minds out there who are, this is bureaucrat and marketing and engineering. We need people with all kinds of skills. That's why my whole thing began years ago with my nonprofit, because I don't see that political line. I see let's take the best of what we can do, and we come out the other end with solutions. I mean, I'm feeling a tremendous openness here with you that many would think, whoa, how come you have people, Kelly King doesn't like that person, and Ellie doesn't like that person, and God knows what Victorino. I say that with respect.
Right.
I say that with the fact that all the political things aside, I am looking and feel, are there any things that people are going to want me to have shared or talked about that are somehow controversial that you'd like to explain a position of anything important? I mean, I know that the people constantly ask me about the injection well. Sounds like
injection well also does, and just so people Maui know, we didn't move on this direction, Jason, on getting 100% renewable. We just moved in this direction because I felt we were wasting a resource that we could be using.
Right.
So
it's your initiative that made this all happen.
Well, no, it was.
Happen?
I have really. I'm going to tell you this. I have really good people working for me in my department. It's incredible what they've been able to do.
I know. Off screen here, we have the lady who runs. I'm not even going to tell you. Otherwise,
oh, my boss.
Fans.
Yeah, we're not supposed to point out my boss. Yeah,
the real boss.
But I think another one, that might be an issue that maybe we can talk about a little. Please. Is the Kahului facility being in the tsunami zone. I think that was it's a big. I got we get a lot of calls, and our door is always open to talk to people, let them know. But I want Maui to know that Kahului facility, yes, it's in the tsunami zone, but our direction when I came on board, everybody was like, let's move this Kahului plant. Let's pay $150 million, $200 move the plant. Now the Kahului facility right now it does about 4.5 MGDs, so 1 million gallons a day of sewage. Now we have another pumping station. It's you're on Lower Main. That's our Wailuku pumping station. It's like right on the beach. It's by the Quonset huts. You see that one, the one that a lot of people thought people were dumping sewage in the ocean, but it's actually they're putting it into one of the pipes there. That pump station does over 3 million gallons a day. So our thoughts, and we have our wastewater division working on this, is I want to move that pump station, move it up out of the tsunami zone, and I want to create a facility like the Kahului plant where we can use the water at the park there. We can use the water into a tank where we can pump it like towards the Maui Lani side using the Maui land pipes. But why I'm saying that is because if we do that project, the Kahului plant will be having maybe 1.8 million gallons of sewage coming to the Kahului plant, which would mean what? It would mean us just making a little Kahului pumping station there, no longer facilities saving us.
So in other words, you bring things out of the tsunami zone, keep a pumping station, quote, it's not really reserved, but have a pumping station there that isn't your main thing.
Yes. And
all of this I'm bringing it all together. The Energia project that will well cover what's needed in Kahului, take and save couple of million, I don't know, dollars, million change at least, dollars a year. It sounds like you're doing the right things. Where's the public finding issues?
I believe it's not the public's fault. I believe they know a little here, a little there, and what happens is someone thinks they know and starts saying things that's not true. And that's why we've always had an open door. I've never turned away anyone who's called our office. I've welcomed them. If they want to know about a project, I'll sit down and explain.
You even shared that some of the politicians and some of the people in office both come to you and want to get educated. That's a really good thing. It's very healthy. Yes. I imagine you guys are doing some kind of presentation. If not, I'm applying for the job here, to do a presentation of things to
we've actually taken them out. We've actually taken them out to our wastewater treatment plants because some of the members wanted to see the actual final process of the water. They could not even pick. How's this, Jason? We filled up 2 bottles with the reclaimed water, the R1 water, and drinking water.
Right.
They could not tell which bottle was which.
Well, when one would drink it, it's non-toxic. Would there be why the reason? What we're saying is, to the eye, and I get there. There are people out there water experts are going to say, yeah, but is it drinkable?
One more process and it would be. You put it through a reverse osmosis RO process.
So is there an outlet for all this to go to an RO group?
That's a discussion with another department. Yeah. Would have to happen.
Private sector, are you listening?
We're the wastewater department, yeah.
I'm just talking about bringing things together and taking down walls. You know, I think sometimes administration has a problem. And the problem is that you can address this better than me, can't motivate your people if you're telling them what to do and they don't make it their own idea. And we can all be talking about the same thing, but people want to not feel controlled. They want to feel inspired to do. And that's probably why people are healthier in your department, because that's part of your whole.
And I don't think it's like supervisors, managers, even people on whatever level they are in government. It's not their fault. It's experiences they've gone through. The only reason I would have never learned what I did if I didn't go to 5 different supervisor positions while working in wastewater. Without going through those experiences, you're not going to get what you need. So even people, somebody who, the way Mike thinks micromanagement is might be different than what I think micromanaging is. So, but at the end of the day, it all affects the people that work for you. And that's key.
Well, I mean, the fact that you're all here and you came together as a team, to me, is very, very telling. And it reminds me of the day, maybe this is another breakthrough. Joe Suki, may he be honored for the good he's done. He did an interview with me and had his publicity person there because they were concerned that I was going to be talking about, at the time, some deal that someone made an accusation about and all that kind of stuff. And I leave room. I didn't bring it up at all. And they want to talk about it, you know, and I'm going to bring it up. So I say it's really a very powerful thing when someone that is in charge is willing to take all questions at 873-3435 here on KAKU 88.5 FM. I'm Jason Schwartz, here with Stewart Stant and Mike Miyamoto of the County Department of Environmental Management. That was my every 15 minutes we're going to do. Let them know.
You got that down.
Well, you know, because I'm doing this live for other things, I don't think about it. I told them I want a flashing light every 15 minutes. That'll tell me. How am I doing? She's a great front representative. She's like in charge of your department, huh? You have Rob Parsons in your department?
Not in my department.
Okay, so he's working for the mayor directly?
Office of Economic Development. He's in that office.
Office of Economic Development. Who puts all this together? Is that a mayor that does that, or is that the council? I get confused sometimes. And when I'm watching who's controlling, who does that? Because I think of him, when I think of environment, I think of Rob Parsons. I've known him many years, even before he was in that position.
I think you might be, I think the word, our department, environmental, but if you really think about it, we really just do sewage, trash, and the recycling abandoned vehicles. So I think sometimes, and we'll get a lot of calls. In fact, she can tell you, we get a lot of calls on environmental issues because of the name of our department.
Who handles the cesspool thing? Is that you guys?
No.
State Department of Health.
So, Rob Parsons might be a guy to talk about that with everyone about. I'm trying to figure out how to handle conversation.
Maybe I can help you all on that. Maybe I can give you a little info. On the cesspools, because I was living up Makwa Ranch Acres for years back in the early 90s, and I had a cesspool. And after the OH came up with that, we got time left?
Yeah, we got plenty.
Just give me a wink, I'll talk really quick. Yeah.
No, we have at least 10 minutes, and they'll tell me more probably.
So when DOH came out, you know, and Maui's a high priority because I believe it's 7,400 of those cesspools that's in a priority 1 that they're saying they're finding this bacterial, whatever it is in
some kind of carcinogen that's in the waste coming out of the
wells, the water wells that are down,
and it's seeping into the groundwater. So every homeowner, in theory, has to either remove and replace with something better.
Yes, that's what
and who finances that? They themselves at the plant?
At this time, yes, that would be.
There's no third party coming in and saying we've got the solution, like Mighty Mouse or those guys. But we could. Any people talking about taking some of those things? I'm bringing them up knowing they're far-fetched, but that's what cutting edge means.
Exactly.
It means people coming to Mike Miyamoto with ideas that are baked, but also, if at your cost, do people get involved in pilot projects on stuff with you?
Actually, we are going to have a pilot project. The council, in approving our FY19 budget, put in a pilot project to test out a technology that would help the people with cesspools.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, so we put that project in.
So that's important for people to know.
Yes.
Is there a number or where they can get in touch with things about that? Who would be? What department would that be? Maybe the water people.
I'm sure we'll put that out as soon as whatever consultants is assigned with this project.
See, you can see I break all these rules about. I don't know which department is which. I just know that
we don't handle cesspools, but
that's why I keep asking.
But we got involved.
There's always talk about.
We got involved in a cesspools just to look at, because the bottom line is going to be, Jason, no matter what the technology is out there, it's going to be a cost. And I think for the people of Maui, I don't care if it costs you only $100. People nowadays, it's hard to come up with money to put in a system to replace their cesspools there. So that's going to be the major issue. We had talked about a couple ideas. One of them I talked about, and I guess I can say it here.
Please.
You're here. But one of them I talked about is I actually wrote a letter to the state asking for some funding from the Clean Water Act that they had. There's some money there. What I wanted was to take a look first at this pilot project that we have that we're going to do for Haleiho and Hana. Once we get the results of that pilot project, I'd like to go out and take a look at systems that we can install at residents. But I know the average resident's not going to be able to put the money up. So we're looking at it as, hey, what if we did this with the county of Maui, wastewater? My division chief is going to kill me now for wastewater. But if we were to take over the cesspools and get this systems in for them and have the user put them on now, what do we call sewer fees? So like everyone who is on a sewer system is paying a sewer fee for the sewage. Now the people who have, that we replace these cesspools, whatever, we look at the cost, we get these replaced.
Right.
And then we put them on a cesspool sewer fee for X amount of years or however it takes to pay this system off. But what it would do is now getting people on the sewer fee. See, we can't run sewage pipes up country. If we could do that, or just the cost alone, it just wouldn't make sense. And we looked at it.
But owners of properties can. The only thing we're all concerned about is, all of us, the cost of housing. And every time I hear about anything like this, I think about everything getting added to the price of an already absurd cost of a place to live. So, but I just keep thinking there's going to be an answer here. Some company in the private sector, again, I'm reaching out, you can hear. When I hear problems that you have, the only thing that I think is more public input on the cutting edge that can come in and say, we can use some of this to make our business greater. I hope we're on an island here, folks, especially with the crap and the trash. You know, if we don't realize, we can't have it here. We got to find solutions. And like this is a really, someone that has money. I don't want to point at A and B or good fellow, but I guess I do.
You didn't point.
No, I'm not pointing.
You didn't
but
point.
I also know that it would be to their advantage, not only socially, I guess politically, but goodwill is so important. They live on this island. And in the future of our island, it's going to take strong leadership in the private sector that then has the public sector help them make these good projects easier to happen and take the burden off someone like yourself. She gets the front line.
Yes.
I know.
She gets all the phone calls.
Now, and I don't know how she's been able to stay beautiful with all the calls that come in about this stuff. Just knowing that you're dealing with a subject that even in our thing, we know that Jason can get confused, and I'm not a scripted guy, but that's what I hope is.
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome.
Well, the public needs to hear it as the public. They need to understand so that they understand. That's why I don't like to do stuff, because I'm asking questions that I think everyone's going to ask. And so that's why I always am rolling back to things like, here's an this is only me. Yeah. Molokai. How's our Molokai water situation? We got such a dry place. What's the word on renewable technologies, or what are they doing there? What are you doing now? I hear about. How's that for an open palette?
Not bad. You want to take this Molokai?
I mean, I'm Lanai, but I figure someone owns it. He could put anything he wants in.
Yeah, for us, Molokai, our wastewater system really doesn't have that big of a, it's primarily in the Kaunakakai area, so we don't have a big flow of wastewater coming in that we could then treat and reuse that water. So Molokai is very limited as to how much volume of wastewater, I should say, we have. Water department, that's another department that handles that.
Isn't that something? So we now know that the wastewater is being handled responsibly, and you have a trash dump. It's a little too far in town for the homeless people, and it's all uphill. And so, and they have to walk with shopping carts and things. But I don't know, do you have any stations in town for people to, maybe a recycling thing in town would be an interesting additional. Maybe someone running it would do it on a commission. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, private sector, just someone.
Because we do have recycling at the landfill. Obviously, everything's at the landfill. We have for High Five, we have recyclables, we have green waste that we make into we mulch it so people can come get mulch. We also have some metal facility that can take care of some of the appliances that get disposed of.
Hey, also, Jason, if I may add, so people watching now, is I apologize if your trash has ever been delayed. It's going to be of two issues, either the mechanical or work. We don't have enough manpower, whether it's somebody on vacation or taking leave, but we never miss routes. It's just delayed, with the exception of this last hurricane.
That was my next breath, because I'm sure these are the guys that were making sure we weren't swimming on our own refuse. Yeah. Thank you for it. Anything coming up that we should be all taking care of? Anything important?
We'll be putting something out, a press release, sometime this evening. We're tracking the Olivia. So, but the last one, we had to close down the landfill. I know it was a huge issue. In fact, we usually pick up only about, I believe it's 200 tons of, 200 tons of trash? We ended up getting 20 tons.
Yeah, depending on the day of the week, but we're averaging somewhere between 200 and 300 tons from the residential customers that we have with the county system.
But we picked up 400 something tons on that Monday.
The Monday after.
Wow. And when all that stuff goes into the landfill, what does this EKO do? They take some of the waste stream and then it goes, and you get the rest, or they're a separate thing but on the same land? And
pretty much.
You take it separate.
Yeah.
So you take this refuse, you go to the hill.
Right now it goes to the hill, and we have active areas of the landfill, and the commercial businesses are primarily the ones that are dumping in there, and when they come in and we level it out, try to compact it as much as possible. We don't want to waste space in that landfill with air, so we compact it. And then at the end of the day, we have to cover it with either it's going to be, we have a tarp that we can pull over it and remove it in the morning, or we put so many inches of dirt to prevent airborne trash, vector control, and everything. And then the guys go around the landfill and pick up trash at the end of the day.
I see. So, what does anyone ever come and said to you, what you're using as trash, we want this, we think it's a harvest. We would like all your trash, or we're going to start by showing you, we're going to take your trash and we're going to deal with 100%. Has anyone come to you like that?
No, we didn't want to wait for that to happen, because we have this integrated solid waste management plan that we're supposed to update every 10 years.
So is there a process? See, I'm looking at making those landfills go away by taking our stuff and making some products out of it that can go off island. We got an exportable product. Our trash somehow reprocessed into something of value, as an example. I don't know.
We're always looking to try and keep it local, because the cost is in shipping something away. For example, like our residential recycling centers, it costs us $303 a ton to get.
It does sound like you have a natural partner there in the shipping people. We can find them. I mean, it's like they're a natural partner, but I'm just saying. But I'm not asking or wanting to burden you. That says 57. If you guys need me, you're going to come in and grab like in the Flintstones. I hope they come and hit the right button if I overtalk. I am here with Stewart Stant and Mike Miyamoto. We could talk for more and more and more. We might have a second left. But the most important thing of this, we're at 88.5 FM. We're the voice of Maui. We hope you'll come back and visit us or at the Maui Neutral Zone. It's the Neutral Zone, but MauiNeutralZone.com. You'll be able to see this show and all the others. But also, we're an open door to anything we talk about with the people that we talk about it with. It has been a distinct pleasure to have you on the show. I know you probably think we could have talked more about specific things, and if we can create dialogue that's going to make things better, if we can do video or audio or anything to make things better, we're there with you.
Appreciate that. Sounds good.
People in the world, wouldn't it be nice if you had people working in the county like these are working for our benefit when we know that we can participate, not only in the voting part, but we can participate when non-voting is happening to contribute good ideas and positive things to make our island better and take some of the junk and turn it into the jewels that we know we are. And in Maui County, we have to keep our image up, and our image is self-sustainable model for the world. I've been talking about it since 1991, and I'm still here, and I'm still talking about it. It's really a pleasure. I know they're going to cut me off or tell me, so we're going to probably end this. Look at that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything that you guys want to say in our last moment? We probably have a moment, so think 30 seconds.
Oh, I just want to say thank you for having the opportunity. And we're more than open because I believe in all those subjects we covered. We can do an hour show, but I am more than open to sit with you. And
you do TV also, so you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, you do TV. I guess sure. We do TV.
Okay, we can put other videos and things in that help explain some of these important subjects in a better way.
Maybe getting some questions all laid out from your viewers and things, and then we can sit down and go over actually all those questions and do it on a video form.
Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be putting some closing music that I think you'll know. It's from Lono. It's called Unlock the Hope. Boy, I sang this years ago. Still a good song. The time has come to make a change. The time has come to unlock Thank you, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. In each and every one of us, and we must do our part. We hold the visions God dreams of.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much,
for taking me to the doctor when I broke my foot,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful.